Christy, thanks so much for coming on and sharing your story with us. Um, I know it'll be super helpful for everybody, regardless of what they're going through, just what God has done through a really difficult journey, even though you usually say it in a positive way. Let's face it, a cancer diagnosis like you have undergone is never easy. So why don't we start at the beginning? Tell us a little bit about when you knew something was wrong or had any kind of intimation or there was a problem.
Well, it was a couple of years ago, and I
Where
had
were you
found a
living?
small lump. I
Where were
was
you?
living in South Carolina at the time,
Okay. Yep.
and I didn't address it immediately because I needed to come up to Massachusetts and spend a few months with my daughter and the kids. But when I got back home, I went and had it checked out and found out that it was triple negative breast cancer.
What does that mean?
It means it doesn't respond to any of the hormones.
Okay.
Don't quote me on that. I'm not great at remembering that stuff, but yeah, it doesn't have anything to do with the hormones, something like that.
Okay.
It's a very aggressive type of breast cancer.
So it's not the diagnosis you want.
No.
Well, you
definitely
never want
not.
breast cancer, but if you're going to have breast cancer, you definitely don't want that.
No. And I knew that there was always a chance that I could get it because I had the BRCA1 mutation, which my mother had and her mother before her.
Did they ever have the breast cancer or just a mutation? Your mom?
Yes. My
Okay.
mom passed away at age 36
Oh, right.
from it,
Yeah.
and her mother before her in her early 40s, if the
Okay.
information I was given is correct.
Yeah. Okay. So you get checked out, you get the diagnosis. What's your first emotion like at that point? I mean, you already probably knew there was probably a problem. You have a lump and you know the history of your family, but you're praying that it's benign or whatever, but you get the diagnosis. What's your reaction at that point?
Honestly, I didn't bat an eyelash.
Okay.
Because I knew that it could always be a possibility.
Yeah.
My reaction was more, all right, let's go, God.
Yeah.
We got to break this generational curse of cancer in my family. Let's do this. I wasn't going to give it any fear. I wasn't going to give it any of that. Nope. So no tears, just lit a fire under my butt and said, let's go.
How did those around you, Brian, how did they take it the same way? It was a little
Brian
bit.
did, actually.
did?
Yes. We are very much aligned and on the same page with all of it, every step of the way.
Yeah.
And the kids are another story. And, at the time of diagnosis, they lived up here in Massachusetts and I was in South Carolina. So I didn't really see their reactions or see what, behind closed doors. But
Yeah.
obviously they were concerned, especially the oldest. She tends to get a little bit more worried than others. And
It's normal. Mom get
yeah,
something like that. Even if she has great faith, to feel
right.
yeah.
So they're worried, but I think the fact that I've been so confident and positive about it has kind of put them at ease too. And they
Yeah.
can see how well I'm doing and see that I'm still me through all of it.
Yeah. So when you say, "All right, God, let's go," what did that mean? Let's go. What? What'd you do?
Right? That means show me the answers on what you want me to do, Lord. I started off with praying about it, of course,
Yeah.
to see which direction do you want me to go. Do you want me to do chemo? Do you want me to do, whatever it is that comes next? What's the path that you want me to take? So we prayed about it, and we thought we had gotten the answer when a friend of ours had come by and given us some items that would help in my healing journey. But some of the items were not exactly what I was looking for and what aligned with the information that I had read. So then I still wasn't sure, and I was kind of like, am I supposed to go 50-50 here, God? What's the answer? So the next morning, that evening, Brian and I got down on our hands and knees, just knees, sorry.
Hands and knees. Yeah. Occasionally, you might need to put your hands and help you. Yeah.
And we prayed about it. And then in the morning, I grabbed my Bible and I prayed again, and I said, show me the answers, God. And he led me to Jeremiah chapter 30. And forgive me for not remembering the first verse of that one, but it said, there is no one to help you, no one to tie up your wounds, no medicine can heal you. And then verse 17, I believe, said that you will be healed. So I kind of took that to mean it's not time for the medicine yet. You got work to do. Let's go with changing the way I eat, changing everything. So I changed my diet completely and went to a whole foods plant-based diet. I didn't even eat meat for a really long time. And I took everything unnatural out of the house, you know, the Glade plug-ins and the scented candles and everything that I could take out that was toxic, I took it out. So we just kind of flipped life upside down and put it back to the direction it should have been many years ago. And then once I got here, everything changed.
We'll get there. But first, so was there moments where you were like, I mean, you prayed, you felt good, but was there moments where you're like, is that real? Like, should I really have done that? Was there, you know, obviously your faith is strong, but were you ever questioning yourself during that time?
Well, one thing I did question was the biopsy. I never wanted the biopsy to begin with. What I would have liked to have done is just had them take the lump out.
Yeah.
And I had heard a lot about biopsies and that the possibility of it spreading because you're poking a hole in that tumor, which is encapsulating the toxic stuff in your body. So that kind of made me a little bit nervous. And I thought about, you know, what happens if it makes it spread. But, you know, I prayed about it.
Yeah.
And God said, calm down. I got you.
So when you felt that, you just went to prayer?
Yeah.
Anything specific you prayed, or was it just in the moment? And was there any kind of...
I prayed every day that God would keep it in the same local area and that it wouldn't spread. And I would say every day, you know, protect my brain, protect my bones, protect my blood, protect my organs, you know, every little thing, and just keep it localized. And he did exactly that.
Yeah.
There was nothing found even in the lymph nodes.
During that time, did God show you anything besides you keep trusting me? Was there anything specific or that you remember God like doing that was a surprise, or did he use it in some way?
Oh, he's used it in so many ways.
Yeah.
I mean, I dove right into research. And he's the one that led me to all the information. Just one thing led to another, and then it led to something else, which cross-referenced what I had already seen. And it was, I don't know how to explain it exactly, but each time I found the thing that resonated and seemed like this is what God wants for me, he just let me know. I don't know how exactly to explain it, but I just knew. And so I was taking all of the herbs and the supplements and the antiparasitics and things that he had led me to through all of that.
Yeah. Wow. So how long were you doing this before moving back up here from Carolinas?
Right from the day of diagnosis, which was May 1st, 2024. We arrived in Massachusetts, November of 2024.
So about 6 months-ish.
Yeah. That was the beginning of it anyway. Yeah.
Why did you move back up to be with family? Why'd you come back up here?
That got a little messy as we were living in South Carolina in our own home. And, you know, my aunt owned it, but we paid for it. But, you know, I really never had wanted to move out of Florida to begin with and really wanted to go back. And a friend of mine had offered for us to move in with her as her daughter had moved out with her fiance and she had an extra bedroom. And I thought about it for a long while, and ordinarily it's not something I would do, but I said, you know what? And I talked to my husband and we said, let's just do it. Let's go ahead and just let ourselves be loved, and you know, it'll make the journey through cancer easier and you won't have to work 2 jobs so you can be home with me.
Right.
But it didn't turn out to be a good situation right from the get-go. It turned out she was very narcissistic and an angry woman. I won't go into much detail there, but I basically had to leave on a moment's notice because I just couldn't stay in that environment for another minute. 4 months.
Oof.
Every day I was walking on eggshells.
2 months in Carolinas with the cancer and then 4 months in Florida.
No, we lived in South Carolina for 3 years.
No, but with the cancer, I meant.
Oh, yeah.
Because it was like 6 months there. So it was like a couple of months. And then you're like, all right, I'll go to Florida, make it easier.
Yes.
And then it was 4 months and it was not easier.
No, no.
Yeah.
I couldn't even get her to smile or come out and talk to me. So I kind of felt like I needed to stay in my bedroom every day, all day long. And it was just, it was very stressful. And
Why do you think she wanted you to come? I mean, I know it's a question for her, but
she has some mental health issues.
yeah.
Like
So it
I
was
said,
like
the
a
narcissism, I don't
bipolar-
think she understands
Yeah.
that. She has questioned it. And at the time, I didn't confirm that she was because I had never seen that side of her.
Right.
So, but it's all part of God's plan because it
So now
got
you
me to
gotta
pack
come
my
up here,
bags.
right?
And actually, first we went to my brother's house, which was 3 hours north of her house. And we stayed on his couches for a couple of months. And then I came up here in November to see my grandson's birth. And that's when God said, it's time to stay here and be with your family and be where there's better health care. So I called my husband and told him, and he packed the animals into the car and grabbed some more clothes and came up. Everything else is still in Florida in storage.
Wow.
But we're where we were meant to be.
What's so cool is, like you mentioned, the alignment that you and Brian have. That's just such a blessing. With always going to be a blessing when you're married to someone and you have you're just yoked in the same way. But when you go through this, not just cancer, but now where do we live, right? Like that could have caused a tremendous amount of stress if he wasn't aligned with you.
Right.
But praise God, he was.
Yes.
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And God has made it abundantly clear that this is where he wanted us and that all of the things that we went through were all just part of getting us here.
Yeah, it's a sideline, but I think it's important when watching this to why we say all the time, but if you're not married, but somebody want to be, whether you're young or not, how important it is to be aligned in faith with someone, because when you're young, especially, and you're getting ready, you're like, life is great. Yeah, there's little problems and this or that, but real life is this.
Yes.
It's not always cancer for someone, but it's something. It's lost my job. It's don't know where we're gonna go. It's I'm sick. It's something. And now, if you're not in alignment in prayer and a desire for the Lord, far more the gaps they widen. It's easy to not take for granted, but it's just like, yeah, that's of course we're aligned, but
Right.
it's really awesome.
We've definitely had a lot of those somethings come up over the last year.
Yes, you've already mentioned a lot. So you come up and you move in with your daughter, or who did you find a place, or what did you do?
No, actually, before we had even come to Massachusetts,
Yep.
my ex-husband's sister had contacted me while we were in my brother's house in Florida. And she said she has a basement apartment that she was thinking would be perfect for us and asked if we wanted to rent it. And I told her I didn't think that we were planning to move out of Florida at the time. And then when we found ourselves here, being that we found ourselves, essentially we were homeless, just kind of sleeping here and there.
Yep.
And we have nothing of our own. Everything's still down there. So I was feeling really low. We didn't have insurance. The tumor at that point had started growing, and it was getting close to breaking through the skin.
Oh.
And that was starting to get a little bit scary. And, the fact that we didn't have the insurance and I couldn't see a doctor and I didn't know what to do, I just wasn't sure. And I totally just lost track of thought.
No, that's okay. We were talking about the living situation. So you ended up moving into the basement apartment?
Oh, yes. I'm sorry.
Yeah, we'll come back to that, though. Yeah.
I had reached out to her again while I was here because I was feeling so low, just kind of feeling a little bit like I needed someone to talk to. So I sent her a message on Messenger and asked if she wanted company. And she misunderstood what I was saying and must have thought that I wanted to move into the apartment. So she started talking up the apartment and telling me all the details. And by the end of that phone call that we had, I had a place to live come Thanksgiving Day.
Thanksgiving?
Yeah.
That was move-in day?
It was move-in day, and it was fully furnished, so it didn't matter that we had nothing. The Lord provided literally everything, down to towels and silverware.
Isn't that crazy how you're like, we're not moving out of Florida? And she's calling you, yeah, we're not moving out of Florida. And the Lord's like, no, you are.
Yeah.
Like, it's just such a beautiful example of him caring for us when we just don't even know he's doing it, you know.
Yeah.
And how
It's-
often he's probably doing it when we never see it. You know, you saw that and
Mm-hmm.
now can look back, but how many times that it'll take getting to heaven and just being like, oh my gosh. I
Yes.
was like a toddler and the Lord was like giving me, you know. So
Uh-huh.
you move in there, and so now let's go back to you. It's breaking through the skin, it's clearly growing. You, as you said, had great faith, praying through it the whole time, believes that this is what at that point, are you just really confused? Obviously, you said you're feeling low. Is your prayer like, God, did I miss something? What are we doing here?
Well, at that point, I knew that part of the equation was that we had just been bounced around and my husband wasn't able to keep a job because we had to keep moving.
Sure.
And, we aren't people that have savings or 401ks, so there was nothing to fall back on. So I couldn't very well keep eating the way I was eating, which I think is why some of that went backwards and started to grow more.
Yeah.
But at any rate, it got a little bit frightening just because the memories of my mom and what she went through, and I still can visually remember what I saw on her.
You were what, 10?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was 10.
Yeah.
So that was kind of frightening. And, for a minute, there was a little bit of a shaken feeling. But God is so good, and he just held my hand the whole way through. And not only did he bring me here, but then he introduced me to Justin.
Yeah. Yeah. So we'll get to that night in a second, but do you, because I think sometimes people who haven't experienced that confidence, that peace that you felt even in that low time, they just can't, like, what does that feel like? How do you describe, like, that God's peace that he gives us?
It feels like not just a sense of calm, but confidence.
Mm-hmm.
It feels like confidence. It's like, I guess like anything. When you start out on something, whether it's soccer or football or learning a new job or a new skill,
Yeah.
you're always going to feel a little apprehensive.
Sure.
But the more you do it, the better you get at it. The better you get at it, the more confident you feel. And then you just own it like a boss.
Yeah.
And it's no different with God. It's you practice it, you read the Bible, you stay in scripture, you stay in worship music. And, we pretty much cut out almost all other music and
Praise
just
and worship.
primarily listen to praise and worship all the time.
Why specifically? I mean, obviously, I probably know, but
I
why
guess
for you?
partially because I don't often have much desire to listen to anything else, but because it helps build that confidence and that relationship, and it makes you feel, I guess, what it is that God's trying to get you to feel.
Yeah.
He's there for you. He's got you. And, some of the songs that I've clung to are, you can hear right in the song that the Lord is fighting for you.
Mm-hmm.
I'm giving it to God. He's fighting for me. So I'm just going to let him do the fighting, and I'm just going to do what he tells me.
Do you feel like you grew in faith during that time, even though you obviously already had strong faith, right, to even get through it? But did he grow it as well?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. There was a couple of key moments on that note, because I've always been so passive and so shy, kind
Yeah.
of.
Yeah.
But there's one day, for example, that we were in South Carolina just before we moved.
Mm-hmm.
And there was the most beautiful double rainbow. And I had to go run up to the hill and take pictures of it. And there was a man that had arrived home, and he went into his house and came back out with his dog. And I was just so excited. Like, the feeling in my chest was just so unexplainable, and it was so big, and I just wanted to just share it everywhere. So, I asked the man if he saw the rainbow and said, "Did you see?" And I pointed to it. He said, "Yes, I did." I said, "That's pretty amazing." He said, "God is good." And I said, "Well, that must mean you're a praying man." And I said, "I've been diagnosed with breast cancer. Would you pray for me?" And he said, "Yeah, let's do it right now." And that's not something I ordinarily would have done, but
Right.
he came over and put his arm around me, and we stood under that double rainbow, and he prayed over me.
Wow. That's incredible.
Yeah. And then there was another example. I was at the beach with my grandsons. They had come down to visit, and we had forgotten my phone in the car, which made me sad, of course, because I like to take pictures at the beach.
Yeah.
but they didn't want to walk back to the car, and that's okay.
Mm-hmm.
So we gave it a couple hours, and then before sunset, we went back to the car to get it.
Yeah.
And as we were walking down the path again, I saw a group full of people under a tent, and there was just so many people, probably a few hundred.
Wow.
And I just got really excited, and I said, "What is that? What's going on? You know, is there an event?"
Yeah.
So I had my grandsons, and we walked a little closer, and turns out it's a baptism.
Oh, wow.
And all of a sudden, that feeling in my chest got so big.
Mm.
And I felt like a balloon, like I was just going to get carried off into the sky. But I had to refrain from running where the kids wouldn't be able to keep up with me.
Yep.
So I was just
Gotta
like,
be
come on, let's
responsible."
go. I mean, I'd been baptized as a child,
Yeah.
but God called me to be baptized that day, and I just wanted to run. So I did, and they helped me with the kids and watched them while I got baptized in the ocean.
How many were already going to be baptized? There's a few hundred people there. So was it like a big baptism? Yeah.
It was.
But there's a good chance they remember you most of all because you came running out of them. Like, wait.
I was literally running. I'm not even kidding. The kids
Yeah.
had to try and keep up.
And how do you remember that baptism? Like, what was the feeling like?
It was very, I don't know, exciting and clearing. You know, if there's any brain fog in your brain, it's just gone when you come out of that water.
Yeah.
It's pretty amazing.
Yeah. Got a baptism coming up. Hopefully people who need it, ready to roll. I can't be in the ocean in the Carolinas, but, you know.
That was in Florida.
Oh, you were Florida at that point.
Yes.
You're at so many beaches. I get confused. But yeah, man, baptism is no small thing. And that's just so cool. How about, and the testimony that must have been to many of those people too, you know?
Yeah. I mean, I didn't get to know any of them, but,
No.
you know, God put that in place. And even that, I could see
Yeah.
that it was his plan.
Yeah,
Because
you wouldn't have done that before.
there were 2 times that I had seen that church logo on bumper stickers of cars as I was driving around.
Yeah.
And this was probably almost an hour from where their church was located, the one that was closer to where I was living at the time.
Mm-hmm.
But when I had gotten there and seen the tents, and it was the same logo for that church. So we were going to start going to that church had we stayed.
Right. I would've got
But
to know
it's
that.
pretty cool to see what God put in place.
Yeah, and the guy who prayed for you, I'm sure that made an impression on him too. You know?
Yeah. Yep. It gave
Did you
me
ever
the
see him
opportunity
again,
to
or
pray
was
for
that
him
was
too.
it? Was that
No,
it?
I've never seen him again because that was in South Carolina and we haven't been back there.
Yeah. I don't know, sometimes you wonder, sometimes you wonder if that's an angel, you know? I mean, you prayed for him,
They're
so
all
we
around
clearly,
us,
you just never know, right?
right?
All right, so then you're here, things are getting worse, your faith's still strong, but you're still like, all right, what do I do, Lord? And what happened next? You said you were at the healing service at church?
Yeah, and we were at the healing service at church, and we had gone down for prayer, and we had met Justin at that time,
Yep.
and yeah, she had told me a little story, and I'm not going to get it right because I don't remember it exactly, but about a woman in the ocean that was, lost at sea and needed saving, and she was asking why God didn't save her, and he said, I sent you a boat, I sent you a helicopter.
Yeah.
That story.
Yeah.
So she was telling me about that and, just giving me some reassurance that, even if you decide to do the chemo, if you do get sick, you're only sick for a while and then you'll feel better. It's just a short bit of time in the grand scheme of things.
So Justin, obviously, if people are familiar, I had her on, but probably a year ago now. She was one of my first guests because she went through breast cancer. Same exact one? Same
Yes.
exact? Yeah, which is crazy, right?
Except I have the BRCA1 mutation and she
Okay.
doesn't, but it's both of us
Yeah.
had triple negative breast cancer.
Yeah. And so Justin's one of our deacons, and she was there to pray for people. And she wasn't praying for you, though, right? Someone came and got her because they knew of her? Or was
Correct.
yeah. So what happened then?
Well, I gave it some thought and then I gave it some prayer.
Yeah.
And God said it's time. So, and it's still funny to see how all the pieces connect. I had gone down to Dana-Farber in Milford, feeling very desperate. And I had walked in and went to the information desk, and there was no one there. I waited several minutes for someone to come, and eventually the security guy came and very slowly took off his hat and his jacket and sat down and looked up at me, not very thrilled to be there. And I poured out my heart and told him, look, I'm desperate. I'm homeless. I have no insurance. We have no job. We have no money. We have literally nothing, and this is growing. And he looked at me and said, what do you want me to do about it? And at first I left feeling very upset and angry.
Wow.
And I sat in the car for a minute. Then I went back inside and talked to someone else. But basically it just left kind of a sour taste in my mouth. So I decided.
Yeah, I think you think of that scenario, and with perspective, you can go, well, man, that guy was probably going through his own, not maybe as bad as cancer, but for you to react that way, like, there has to be some reason, right?
Right.
But on the other hand, it's a learning for all of us that, like, if you're tired and you've seen a bunch of people come through that door, you gotta you gotta shore yourself up a little bit.
Yes.
And realize that God's, especially for those of us that are believers, but God has put that person in your life in that moment, and
right.
you don't know what to do, go find someone.
Right.
Right.
But
So I'm glad you didn't leave.
It led me to go to Boston instead.
Yeah.
And the oncologist that I got in Boston just happens to specialize in triple negative breast cancer and BRCA1. She has her own research lab that's government
Did you just
funded.
go to Boston and drive in like you did Milford, or did someone give you a referral or something?
I called.
Okay.
I just called and told them I needed to get started, and I didn't know what to do or, how to go about it. And they just put it all together. Well, I should say God put it all together, because he gave me exactly what I needed.
Yeah, the oncologist is an expert.
Yes. And the surgeon that goes along with it, also an expert in BRCA1 and triple negative breast cancer. So it's just amazing to see how everything just lined up, and everything we've been through every step of the way has been with purpose.
Yeah. And I remember us talking privately, and it's something I didn't think about, but I think you're probably right. It's like, because someone might ask, well, why the waiting period and then not the waiting period? And you had mentioned, well, a couple things. One is you're here where medicine's much better. But the other is you got very healthy.
Yes.
During that waiting period, going completely organic and losing a lot of weight. And your body's now able to take a lot more punishment, which you needed to do, right?
Exactly.
So while we don't play God, we don't always know everything. I can really see how God did work all that out. He gave you both answers. He's
exactly.
Like, right now, nope, that wouldn't have worked. You've read Jeremiah. That wouldn't have worked right then.
Right.
You wouldn't have been prepared. It would have maybe failed. I mean, I'm not God. I don't know. But that sounds like the message he was giving you.
Definitely.
But then you're like, yeah, but it's growing. It's breaking through the skin. Like, why would he give me that message? So now you go this, and you realize, oh, God's behind all of it. Mm-hmm. And you're just trying to be faithful.
Exactly.
Yeah. Wow. So how did it feel in the moment? I know sometimes, it's not been that long, but when you go to Boston, you meet with the surgeon, you get the plan, was there there's obviously apprehension, but was there real peace again? Like, all right, this is what God's doing? Or were you like, God, what? Like, I thought, how are you feeling?
Well, there was a little bit of apprehension only in the beginning.
Yeah.
Because from what I've been through with my family members and everyone that I've seen and everything that I've known about cancer and people who've had cancer, there's just a different picture in my mind of what it was going to be like.
Yeah.
And so that little bit of apprehension, yes, that was there, but I was also able to give it to God. And I said, this is what we have to do next. So we're going to put our big girl pants on and we're just going to go forward and do it. But I'm not going to, stress and worry is obviously not good for cancer. So I just gave it to God, and God is good. And he took that right from me, and he said, relax, I got you. He held my hand the whole way.
Did your confidence, do you think, obviously you were very confident that God was going to heal you, right? But you're also a very strong believer. And so the truth of the matter is, if he chose not to, you know, yeah, there's stuff here that you don't want to leave your family and all that. Nobody does, nor should you want to. But you knew, you know, whenever that is, hopefully many years from now, where you're going to be. Did that play a factor, or were you just confident, like, that's not going to happen?
Honestly, I was confident.
Yep.
I have had, I don't know if you want to call it visions or just a knowledge since I was a young child that there is something bigger in store for me that God has got planned, and we're just not there yet. And I know it beyond the shadow of a doubt.
Yeah.
And that gives me a lot of confidence in knowing that I would be healed
Yeah.
because I know that He's got more for me. I know my job is not done. He has things that He needs me to do. And so
Hard things, probably.
probably, but things that will bring all of this for His glory. So,
Yeah.
I mean, that's a huge amount of confidence to go into it with.
Yeah, I agree. What would you say to someone and maybe have who just says, man, Christy, I wish I had that kind of faith. Even a believer, I'm saying, they have faith in Jesus and all that, but they just don't have that peace. What do you say to them? How do you counsel them?
Well, are we talking about a Christian or a non-Christian?
Christian.
A Christian?
Yeah.
Well, I would say, first of all, just keep immersing yourself in faith. If there's anything that's toxic in your life, get rid of it.
Yeah.
Whether it's, scented air fresheners, whether it's, the clothes that you wear, whether, there's so much in our lives that is toxic. And if we can eliminate most of it, you'd be on a better path.
Yeah.
But, God's going to give you the answers. Pray for the answers. Get on your knees. Open your Bible. He will give you the answers. You just have to be willing to see them and follow them.
Was there anyone in your life that God, I'm sure there's people, there's doctors and Brian, of course, but anyone specific say anything or pray anything for you that you were like, wow, that really impacted, or was it just directly from the Lord?
It's directly from the Lord.
Yeah.
I mean, there are definitely, it's amazing how many people are praying for me. And I could never even think about putting a number to that. It's astounding. And,
That feels good.
It does.
God's hearing, all right. Like the parable, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, enough. Yeah, and that's another good advice for people is if you haven't already naturally have people, get people praying.
Yeah.
Don't hide it.
Right. And if you are afraid, tell somebody.
Yeah.
Let somebody be there for you.
Right.
And that's a hard part too, is because, we don't all like to ask for help.
Right.
And we have needed so much help. I mean, like I said, we had nothing. So we've, needed help with groceries. We've needed help with everything, literally everything. I mean, I was asking for clothes when I got here. I had no clothes. I had nothing. And that's just, part of being obedient too is, when you're praying and you're asking for the answers, if He tells you to do something that's uncomfortable, just do it.
Yeah.
If you got to walk out the door with nothing but the clothes on your back, just do it because He's bringing you to something way better. And that's, the rule that I can apply to the cancer and to the relationship with God is just dive in. Find those songs that really speak to your soul. One of the ones that I listen to a lot is No Fear by, is it Jonathan Riddick? I might have the name wrong. I'm not sure.
Yeah, but I know the song. Yeah.
The mighty power of Jesus is fighting for you here. No fear. And that's one that I just get really ramped up about.
Kind of anchored in. Yeah. Well, for obvious reasons. Fear's always kind of creeping.
Yes.
When you're going through anything, but especially this.
Yep. But cancer is not of God. I mean, other than a wake-up call.
Yeah.
It is exactly that.
He'll use it for good, but it's not of Him. Yeah.
And so I'm not going to give it fear. I'm not going to give it power over me. God's got that.
What about people who don't win that battle? Are faithful and it's just not, what or they're not winning the battle and it's really dire and doesn't, because obviously people die of cancer all the time. So your
Right.
mom included, right?
Yep.
What do we say to them?
Oh, that's always a hard one.
Yeah, I know. That's why I'm asking you. No.
I mean, we're not ever going to understand everything.
Yeah.
We don't know why some people pass and some people don't, but we know that there's always a purpose behind it, whether it teaches somebody else or whether it brings somebody else to the Lord, or, there's always something that comes from it that's good.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think it's just important for people to know. It's like this balancing act, right? Where whatever you're going through, especially if it's life-threatening or a disease, you have to have that confidence that you're just talking about. Like it's so important. Dive in, trust God. But if that's not his plan to heal you, that doesn't make you a failure or a lack of anything.
No.
Right? And I know that you're not saying that. We don't want people to feel that way, right? It's like dive in, but recognize God's the one that has the plan. And like you said so perfectly, I think something like wherever he brings you from, it's going to be better.
Yes. Even if that means heaven. And that's the best place you can possibly go. So
right. If he's got more hard work for you to do like you, then he'll keep you around. But if it's time,
right.
It's your time, and it doesn't make you a failure at all.
No, not at all.
No, because God is God. We aren't, and doctors aren't either. He uses them, but so then what happened? Surgery, like take us through kind of what were the procedures that you then had to do?
Well, we did all the chemos.
Is that before?
Before the surgery, yeah. There was 13 weeks of Taxol and carboplatin, and then they switched it to the other combination, which was andromycin and Cytoxin. I might have the first name wrong, but they call it the Red Devil.
Oh, great.
Yeah, so, I mean,
Wonderful.
that in itself
sounds
kind of
great.
made me a little nervous at first before they did that first injection, and I prayed over it, and I've been praying the whole way through, and, don't let me have any side effects that are negative. And,
Yeah.
so we did all of that.
Were you able to go to Milford for that, or did you have to go into Boston and get your treatment?
I've gone to Boston for everything.
Okay.
Yeah. And then once all of the chemos were done, they scheduled the surgery for the double mastectomy. And
so how did the chemo, because I know you've shared with me that amazingly God is just, I mean, not that it wasn't hard, but man, you've done really well through it.
honestly, it wasn't hard.
Yeah.
It wasn't hard. I looked forward to going in and, seeing the friendly faces and being able to make other people happy and,
Yeah.
just be the little ray of sunshine.
Wow.
So I mean, it really didn't have much effect on me. Towards the very last treatment, my fingernails got a little discolored and painful, and it seemed like I was going to lose all my fingernails.
Yeah.
But I did cut
Yeah, I
them
never
down.
really think of that. That can happen, right? Because it's similar to hair, right? Your fingernails are similar to.
Yeah.
They can really
Yeah.
affect. Yeah. Huh. But you didn't lose them?
Nope, I was able to cut all that stuff down. I mean, I almost did, and some of them started to peel. I tried to take some nail polish off, and they just kind of ended up, my nails just almost peeled off halfway, so I super glued them down, and then I put some paint on them and just kept cutting them down to the nub, and they did not disappear.
And what was it like losing hair?
I shaved it off first. My
Okay.
hair's been short for years and years, and it's only hair. It doesn't matter in the grand scheme of things. I don't care about hair. I just care about living and,
Yeah. Good way to put it.
and feeling healthy and happy.
Yeah. Yeah. So the chemo goes well, pretty much as well as you can possibly imagine, right?
Unbelievably well.
Yeah. Were any of the medical people kind of like a little surprised that
Yes.
it's going so well?
I have had several of the doctors just kind of in awe. They just didn't know what to say.
It shows you that it's not that normal.
Right.
Usually there's sickness, there's a lot of stuff, side effects. And they
Right.
call it the red devil, so
Exactly.
I'm sure that's not a compliment.
No. No.
If it is, I wouldn't want that doctor.
Exactly.
No, it's given that name because it does real bad things to people.
Right.
Yeah. But and so the doctors are just like, did you have a chance to share ever? Like, oh, just pray.
With one of my doctors, yeah, I
Yeah.
did. She was, I mean, most of the doctors are so busy, you only get a
Yeah.
small amount of time, although
Yeah.
they, gave ample time for
Sure.
making sure I understood everything. But
Yeah.
there was a doctor at the Zachem Center for Alternative Therapies, which is a place that offers acupuncture and art classes, dance classes, a dietary nutritionist, different things like that. And when I spoke with her, she was really astounded and just wanted to know how. And that's what I
Yeah.
told her. I said, it's all God. It's not me.
Yeah. Wow. Great testimony, man. So then the surgery.
Yep. Then surgery, double mastectomy. And so I just handle it like I handle the rest of this. And I just say, it's just what comes next. It's like
Yeah.
it's like a checklist. You got errands to do throughout your day. You got chores you got to get done. It's
You
just
gotta
what we
have
do
a double
next.
mastectomy.
Right.
Yeah.
It's
Well,
just what
I
we got to
think,
do next.
yeah, that's how you had to think of it. Otherwise, it would have been too overwhelming.
So I didn't give that any thought either. I was just like, well, I've got it in the calendar. I'm not going to think about it. I'm not going to give it any stress or anxiety or worry. My body handles surgery pretty well. I recover pretty well. I've got a great immune system. Thank you, Jesus.
Yeah.
Even through all of this,
Yeah.
I've never been sick. I have never stayed home. They tell a lot of people going through
Stay
chemo
home,
that
yeah.
stay home and avoid germs. But as you know, I've been at church every week, hugging everybody I
praise
can.
God.
I've not stopped hugging people. I've been out to the stores. I've been to some concerts. It's been amazing.
So how have you been able to share this journey with people? And
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, a lot of people, actually, I get a lot of messages on Facebook, on Messenger.
Oh,
Well, I have a lot of people that are asking me health questions. And I'm just like, what do you mean? I'm just me. I mean,
so is
my
you
thought.
is because you're sharing on social media? I guess I'm not really. I mean, I'm on it, but I don't really
Yeah.
look at much. But so they see your journey being shared.
Right.
So is that because I'm interested because I think you go one way or the other. You go, I'm just going to share this so people can learn and others are just real private about it, which is fine too.
Right.
What made you go the way of sharing?
I've always been an open book, no
Okay.
matter what life
Yeah.
has ever thrown at me, which has been plenty.
Yes.
Get a shovel. But I've just always been an open book. I
Yeah.
don't think that we can learn from each other and grow if we don't share. So, and I've just got nothing to hide.
Yeah, I'm all with you. Yeah,
Yeah.
go for it.
Yep.
So now they're messaging you. Do these people have cancer or someone they love, or is it other things, or is it just?
Some of the people have cancer, and some
Yeah.
of them it's somebody that they love that has cancer, and some people it's other health problems, and they're wondering if I know the answer to it.
You should start a vlog or something, Christy's Corner.
I know, and I just feel so underqualified. I'm just like, I'm just a regular person. I just did a lot of research to find out how I can help myself, and I don't have all the answers, but a lot of it, honestly, it all goes back to the basics, and it kind of all comes into play for every illness.
Yeah. Yeah. Have you? So do you get a chance to share in those times some of your faith and your trust in the Lord, or is
Yes.
it? Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that's always forefront.
Yeah.
Yeah, because without God, I would not have gotten through any of this the way that it has gone. I wouldn't have known which path to take. I wouldn't have done exactly what he wanted, which led me to where I'm at right now.
Yeah, it's such a windy path, and you look at it so well of like, all right, what's the next step?
Right.
And that's kind of how we have to approach life. I mean, we do plan, but like you said, put it in the calendar. But I don't know what this step's going to be, and I don't know where this is. This isn't a waste of time.
Right.
I
And
don't-
so much of it is really mindset too, which, even your mindset has to come from God because you can't change it on your own.
No.
But it's like, even with the mastectomy, I recently just had my post-op visit. Everything's healing beautifully, but now they're talking about, whether or not I should do radiation because the cancer was so close to the skin.
Yeah.
if they do radiation, then the surgery for the reconstruction is going to be pushed off an additional 6 months after radiation is finished,
Yeah.
which means there goes my summer. And so I was feeling really disappointed about that for a minute, just for a minute. I'm not going to let it have any more than that. And I, had another talk with God and said, you got to change my mindset because we're not doing this. And so that's exactly what we did. Change the mindset. If it's going to take another 6 months, then that gives me 6 months to get my butt in the gym, start eating better again, and, get in better physical shape so that I can be firmed and toned and regain some muscle, because after losing 100 pounds so quickly, you lose a lot of muscle.
Yeah.
So then I can get firm and in shape and get some muscle tone back. And then when I have the surgery, I'm going to look and feel great.
Yeah, he did change your mindset. Yeah. What do you mean by lose your summer?
Well, because after a surgery like that, you're going to spend a couple of months in the house
So
in a
it would work
recliner.
out where surgery would be right before the summer instead of you
Right.
at that time. I got it. Okay.
Right. Here I was thinking I'd be in a bathing suit enjoying the summer with my new, slimmer body for next summer, but instead
Yeah,
I
you got
might
the
be
picture, and I can. You should.
sitting in a recliner in my basement apartment for the whole duration of the summer.
Oh, yeah. I would bother me, so I commend you that it was only a minute.
That's all it gets, just
Because
a minute.
you don't. Again, who knows what God's going to do with that?
Right.
It's impossible to see it, to like even guess, because you're like, I don't know, basement apartment, summer, like I don't know what God could possibly do with that.
Right.
But He's God. You have to wait and see.
All I know is he's got it. He's
That's
got
right.
me. He's been holding my hand the whole way through, and he's not letting go.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow. Have you? Did you maintain contact with Justin
Yes.
through that? And
Yeah.
yeah, make
Yeah,
sure you have support.
Yeah. I jumped into the Cancer Support Network.
All right. Yeah.
yeah.
Now we talked a little bit with Jocelyn when she was on. That's all virtual for the most part, right now, virtual.
Yeah, we
like
do it on Zoom.
on Zoom, and which makes a lot of sense. It didn't start that way, but just COVID.
Right.
But I know Jocelyn has talked to me about how there's people that are so immune compromised, or they're too far away.
Yes.
They wouldn't be able to. So
Yeah, it makes good sense to do it that way
Yeah.
for those reasons.
yeah, if you're just not feeling well, leaving the house cannot. Not everybody's skipping around like you are, crying out loud.
It's true. And I am very grateful that I can still skip around.
Me too. Me too. More so than you ever did before.
Yeah, I did not. My mind is blown. God has been amazing. I would not honestly have expected to show up at church a week after a double mastectomy with drains stuck to my shirt and like,
You're like, I'm worshiping. I don't care.
yeah, exactly.
Wow. Yeah. So, what advice you give people if, and I'm not just talking about people with cancer, people going through it and just feeling like it's just hard to see the good in it.
My advice would be get closer to God.
Yeah.
Again, get in the Word, get those worship songs playing all the time, and even more so, let your church be there for you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Let people be there for you. Because, I don't know how we would have gotten through all of this without the support of all of this church.
That's so great. And just how God puts that together. But our job's to avail ourselves to it.
Yes.
Don't hide.
Yep.
Not that God can't knock your door down. He can, but
Right.
He does it through just saying, hey, I'm just going to go. I'm just going to show up. I'm just going to let people minister.
Right.
Yeah.
And that was a hard lesson. We've never been in a great financial position, raising 5 kids on only one income. You can imagine.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
asking for help is always hard. Asking for a little bit of help is hard. But to need that much help for such an extended period of time is really hard. And it's still hard. It's still uncomfortable. But that's where we are. And we are grateful to have a community
Yeah.
of, followers behind us.
And it's so new too. Obviously you here years ago. So there's certainly people that you've known for many years, but you moved away, and you're
Yeah.
back. Just a lot of people that have ministered that just got to know you in the last several months.
Right.
Yeah. Doesn't take long.
No, it's been amazing.
Yeah.
And I will say it's been amazing and bittersweet at the same time because there's so many people, that were here helping my mom when she was going through it.
Yeah.
So to be here and to see all of them,
Yes.
well, I mean, my mom's been gone my entire life. It's been, it was 1984 when she passed.
Who are we talking about? Jan Bonnell, Lorraine, you said?
Yeah,
I'm
there's
just
so
like,
many.
Can't be young.
So many.
Yeah,
And
faithful
just,
people that just, yeah.
yeah, and to have them in my corner now is, like I said, it's bittersweet. It tugs at my heart in both ways, but it's incredible.
So now, what do you think? Obviously you still have to go through the radiation, the reconstruction and all that, but what do you guess that how's God going to use this? I mean, he's already using it. Obviously we talked about that, but
He is.
yeah.
Yeah, he's already using it everywhere. I mean, the amount of people that have come to me looking for health advice and just being able to share the story, it's going to affect so many people, whether it's through this podcast or through other people that I meet. I've met so many people in so many places,
Yeah.
and it's just, I don't even have all the words. I've made so many friends that I would have never expected. I meet friends at Walmart. I mean, I can be at any old Walmart or grocery store or Whole Foods store, and then I end up with another friend on Facebook.
Man, you're so much better than me. If I ever go to Walmart, I'm grumpy. I don't want to be here.
Oh, you know how I feel about Walmart. We've talked about that.
You have a fear, and
I do. I have
That's right.
Walmart
So
anxiety.
just do online groceries.
Yes. I literally will flatten myself against the wall of the aisle like a pancake because I'm so stressed out because other people are trying to get things, and I'm like,
Yeah. I mean, I don't feel that way, but I try to avoid it. It's like once a year I end up. It's usually around Christmas.
fair.
So we're like, not even to get gifts, but like, oh no, we don't have enough lights to go around the tree. We thought we had enough. Oh, off to Walmart.
Isn't that always the way?
It's always the way. I'm like, this year I'm buying twice as many we need. I don't care how much it costs.
You can always return them later.
That's right. Oh man. Yeah, so you're eager to see, continue to see how God's going to use this. Because like you said, he has, and I'm not saying this is it. We don't know, but this could be part of what God's plans are.
Right.
You're going to walk through this and you're going to be a major blessing to other people.
Yeah. Everybody we meet is a blessing one way or the other.
Yeah.
One way or the other they are. There's a purpose to everyone we meet.
You mentioned the support structure, the support group, the church and everything, but it's like as we talked about earlier, part of the reason you were able to kind of maintain this is because Brian was right in alignment with you, and just saying, no, we're going to do this,
Yeah.
I'm sure he had some of his own worries that he didn't share because you want to. He's a husband and he loves you, but man, just having that built-in support system, not everyone's going to have that, so they just need to make sure they seek it out.
Right.
Maybe you're single or widowed, or maybe you just don't have that same evenly yoke.
Right.
You gotta even all the more get out there and say, I need people around me.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep. And it's just one of those things. And I can understand where it would be even harder when you are, sickly and feeling frail, and you don't want people to see you like that. But let people be there for you.
Yeah.
Let people pray for you, pray over you. I mean, let people put their hands on you. Just do it.
Yeah. What about for people who have someone in their life, whether it's a family member or even someone in their church or someone they know, and they're like not sure what to do? What should they do? How should they approach the person that's dealing with the cancer?
Can you repeat that?
Yeah, it's a jumbled question anyway, because it's hard to ask. Like, if I have someone in my life and I'm not talking like my wife. I'm talking about like someone maybe in a peripheral that I'm not really sure what to say or what to do. What do they need from me?
Oh, okay.
What kinds of things have been most helpful to you?
I see what you mean.
Yeah.
I think the most helpful thing, and honestly, I kind of learned that from watching my brother go through it, because he passed away a handful of years ago. But one of the things that really stuck out to me, we had gone to a store. He wanted to go and, get his candy. And I brought him, he had a cane. He was throwing up in a bag. He wanted to get out.
Yeah.
And one thing that he said to someone who would call him and text him constantly every day was, "I'm fine." He said, "I'm fine until I'm not fine. And if I'm not fine, I will let you know." But basically that said to me that just treat me like I'm a regular person.
Yeah.
Don't treat me like I'm a sick person.
Yeah.
You don't want to be treated like
if you reach out to someone, ask them things you'd ask if they weren't sick.
Exactly.
How's the kids doing? Oh,
Exactly.
did you see the show or the whatever? You're talking about. Just still connect with them, but don't be like, "How you doing?"
Right.
Like you're in a hospital room all the time.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's
good advice.
kind of like, like I don't act like a sick person.
Right.
I'm not going to, like I said, hide out in my house and stay away from people. I mean, again, I'm not saying that that's not the case for other people. We're all in different places with that. But
Right.
for me specifically, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to act sick. I'm not going to do anything that's going to cause me to get more sick. And on that same note, I don't want people to come to me treating me like I'm sick.
Right. Like you're a fragile eggshell, and they're like, "Oh,
Right.
yeah."
Because some people don't know what to say. Like you said, you see somebody with no hair and you're like, "Oh, that person must have cancer. I don't know if we should talk to them." Like, you're not going to get it from talking to me. So,
Right.
my advice, is just
Yeah.
treat them like you've always treated them. Talk to them like they've always been there and you've always known them. Don't talk to them like they're sick and you're afraid because you don't know what to say. That's where things get awkward.
Yeah, and listen, right? Like, just because, like you said, for you, I've obviously being a pastor and just getting older, I've dealt with a lot of people and with cancer. You kind of listen and feel it out. And with you, it was obvious that you were doing great and you didn't want to be treated like you weren't doing great. So I'm like, that's how I'm going to treat you, right? But if someone's kind of upset or whatever and they feel like, "I need this," then that's when you give them that, right? But it's more about, like you said, not like being unapproachable, but hearing them out and say, "All right, how can I help?" And then just come out and ask, "Anything I can do for you?" And just like, "No, just be there." Okay.
Exactly.
What you said is very much across the board with most people I've had on the podcast, where like, man, just be there. Don't act like I have, something you're going to catch.
Right.
And it's people, because if they want, I think usually they don't, sometimes it's like they're scared internally, because when they get face to face with that could be me or that could be someone I love. I think there's subtleties to that, but I think most of the time it's like, I don't know what to say. And, if someone's going through grief, right? It's not disease, but it may as well be sometimes, right? And it's like, I don't know what to say. What if I say the wrong thing? Like, just, it's okay.
Right.
They're not as fragile as you think. They're going to be okay. Just because the worst thing you can do is recede from them.
Right. And I think that's such a huge thing, no matter what the illness, whether it's cancer, whether it's addiction, no matter what it is, people just want to be loved and cared for like they're regular people. They don't want to be treated like you're the leper.
Right. Yeah. Any, you mentioned Jeremiah, did any specific, which was huge for you early on, that passage that the Lord brought you to, any other passages or verses that you can remember? I'm sure you said you dive into the scripture. Did anything specific in the journey that God used?
There are, but I can't bring them to mind off the top of my head. I'd have to go through my notebooks where I wrote them down.
Yeah. Yeah, that's fine. I just didn't know if like one or two. But yeah, like when you're constantly in the scriptures, that's the same with me. You'd be like, what's your favorite scriptures?
Right.
All of it. Yeah, there's some that are meaningful, but yeah, God just keeps ministering through his word. He really
He does.
does. Yeah, and prayer
Yep.
and worship. All of the cliches that are not cliche at all.
Right.
You've mentioned them all. How important prayer, people praying for you, you praying on your knees with Brian.
Yep.
Scripture, diving in, God's truth, because man, the lies, they come quick.
They do. They
Yeah.
do. And you really have to be on your toes and you have to keep your eyes open because the enemy roars about like a lion, as we know, and he is ready to pounce all the time.
He knows God's already getting the glory of your life, but he wants to rob whatever he can.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So when those moments come, and I make sure they are very brief because, I cannot, I've come so far that I can identify them even when they're happening. Sometimes it's so subtle. It can be like, like it's a Saturday night, you're going to church the next day, and all of a sudden you and your husband are arguing over, you don't even know why you're arguing.
Yep.
And you think about the conversation and you're both on the same page with it. And you're like, why is this an argument? What on earth is going on? And then you're like, oh,
See the
rat bastard.
Yeah. See the spiritual attack.
Yeah. So we look at each other and we say,
You remember when you had
absolutely.
younger kids? And that happens to our families with younger kids. I mean, yeah, you ask them, Sunday morning, how's that work? It's like they all say the same thing. It's insane.
Yeah.
It's
It can
so
be
rare
chaos
that
on
they're
a
all
Sunday
like,
morning.
let's get in the car. And, it's always a battle.
Yes.
That's not by chance.
No, it's not.
No. So and then worship, man, you anchored in on music.
Very much so.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, I spend a lot of time at home because, not working
Yeah.
and I'm home by myself all the time.
Yeah.
So I do a lot of watching TV. Most of the time, at least half the day, I put the worship videos on.
Yeah.
And that's it. Just worship videos all day long. And I'll play games on my phone. Or if I decide to, play games on my phone, I will put on the YouVersion app and do Bible study and let it read the Bible to me the whole way through. Other times I'll just be using the Bible by itself. But
Right.
no matter what I'm doing, I'm always constantly and continually incorporating the Word of God.
Yeah. Wow. Well, I mean, the effects are there. Obviously, the results are there. You know?
Definitely.
Yeah. Wow. Well, thank you so much for sharing your story, Christy. I really, really appreciate it. And it's continuing.
Yes,
Can't wait
my
to see
pleasure.
what God does. And I'm sure people will see this. And I'm sure you won't mind if they reach out to you, since clearly people already are.
Right.
She's a mini celebrity. So, give her some time.
Just part of God's purpose.
Yeah. Yeah. And man, who knows? You can be part of the support group, and there's going to be other people that God's going to put across your way that you get to pray for under the rainbow.
Yeah.
Not that you didn't, you prayed for that guy, but
Yeah.
yeah, it's crazy. Well, thanks again. I really, really appreciate it, and just look forward to see what God does.
Me too.
And cut.